Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you enjoy. Anyway, this weekend we have got a new wrestling event coming up called Wrestlepalooza. Interesting name. Apparently, it used to be ECW's pay per view Wrestlepalooza, and now they brought it back as a new event. Personally, I think they could have chose a better name. You know, I think even CM Punk said that it was on an interview that it was like a stupid name. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I grew up with like, Judgment Day, Armageddon, Fully Loaded, No Way Out. Now we got Wrestlepalooza. Anyway, so there's not many matches booked for this card, although there might be some more added on Smackdown at the end of the week. Anyway, let me just go through the matches as always and get my thoughts on them. So, I think obviously one of the biggest matches is obviously the Cena Lesnar match. Uh, Cena's coming to the end of his farewell tour, so he's going through all the previous rivalries. So, I'm curious how this one's going to go. This was originally meant to be the main event, but apparently it's been reported now that this match is going to open the show. So, don't know, unless Lesnar just wants to get in F5 and get the hell out. Uh, so, this one's tough to call. Obviously, because it's going to be the last time Cena and Lesnar face off, you would assume that John Cena is going to win, but I don't know. It's just, are they going to bring Lesnar back just to have him lose to Cena? I have a feeling like this is going to end in like a no contest or something. Like, either Lesnar's going to get disqualified, or something's going to happen where they're both unable to continue the match, and that way it's like sort of left up in the air, as instead of having Cena beat Lesnar or Lesnar beat Cena, it's just left in no contest. Whether that would lead to another match, I don't know. But uh, yeah. So for this one I'm gonna go for no contest. Even though I think there probably will be a winner. I just can't pick who. You know, it feels like it's gonna be Cena because it's his farewell tour, but uh, at the same time, like, he's always, anytime he's come up against Lesnar's destroyed him. So, uh, especially now, where years have passed on, Lesnar still looks like, he hasn't aged. He's based, whereas, John, yes, he can still compete, but certainly not at the levels that he used to compete at when he was facing Lesnar before. So I don't know. I think that's going to go to a no contest. So that's my thoughts on that. Um, let's see. So we've got, obviously, because Naomi is expecting a baby, she had to relinquish the world title. So we've got a match between Io Sky and Stephanie Fakur for the vacant title. Um, I think this will be a very good match. Io's great in the ring, and Stephanie is great in the ring. So I'm looking forward to their match. I have a feeling that at some point, uh, Asuka will get involved, because it looks like they are building up to Asuka turning on Io and then sort of pushing for a match between them or a rivalry. I guess with Kyrie stuck in the middle, but the fact that we've had Io keeps telling Asuka, I want to do this on my own. I want the thing. So it feels like she's going to get involved in the match. So I think Stephanie is going to win this match. I'd be happy either way. I think Io will be great as champion. I think Stephanie will be great as champion. Either way, they're just holding the title for Naomi coming back. But yeah, it feels as if Asuka is going to get involved in this and maybe going to either inadvertently cost Io or intentionally cost Io, and then that will lead to the sort of breakup of Asuka and Io's friendship, and now whether, Asuka turns on her at Wrestlepalooza or she turns on her several weeks down the line. I think it is building up to that. So I'm going to go with Stephanie for that one. Next up, we have got Braun and Bronson versus the Usos. This is another match where I feel like there could be interference again because they have been building up over the last few weeks this sort of back and forth rivalry between Jey Uso and LA Knight. It feels like, I don't know if it's going to be where they turn LA Knight heel. It just feels like they're going to have him again get involved somehow because he's been involved with Braun and Bronson and now he's involved with Jey. It feels like he at some point, where they have a backstage segment before the match, where Jey and LA Knight have to be pulled apart, and then it ends up with LA Knight getting involved in the match. But as much as I'm happy to see the Usos reunite, I'm hoping that Braun and Bronson will win this one because I think that they definitely need a sort of a push on the PLEs. Like they lost to Roman and Jey, and I think did they lose on Raw to Jimmy and LA Knight, or did they win that one? I can't remember. But I think it'd be good for them to go over, and again, if LA Knight is involved, then it builds more of the rivalry between him and Jey Uso. So I'm going to go with Braun and Bronson for this match, the Vision as they're called. So next we have, there's very few matches. I'm surprised that there isn't like any of the the tag titles on the line, either on Raw or SmackDown's titles. I think there was rumor that they might do a triple threat match between Tiffany, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill. Obviously, that has not been confirmed. It could be set up on SmackDown this week to take place. If that happens, I would have to go with Jade. I'd be fair. If Jade is in another title match, and she doesn't win, I'd be very surprised at what they're doing with Jade at this point. Um, Again, it's only if that match is confirmed. Um, Other than that, we've got Cody versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. This has been a good rivalry, and as much as I would like to see Drew win the title because I think he deserves a run with the title. If this feels like Cody's going to retain and he's going to keep the title for, I know, another couple months, where up to WrestleMania, or going into one of the big things like, I know Royal Rumble's in Saudi, so would they have him drop the title at Royal Rumble, or maybe before that, the Survivor Series? But I'm going to go with Cody to win this match, but I would love for Drew to somehow get the win and win the title. It would certainly be a a big moment for this event, this new event, Wrestlepalooza, for Cody to lose the title. So, but I'm gonna go with Cody to retain because I think he's going to keep the title for another couple of months. And obviously, what I think will be the main event of the night is the mixed tag team match. Seth and Becky versus Punk and AJ Lee. It's great to see AJ back. Um, this one, feels like it's too easy to call because obviously you've got AJ returning, so you automatically think, all right, well, it must be CM Punk and AJ winning this match, because are you gonna have AJ return after all these years just for the losing their match? Uh, I mean, they could do a scenario where uh, Punk inadvertently gets distracted by something happened to AJ. Maybe Becky's attacked her from outside the ring or something, and then Seth rolls them up for a quick win. But I'm gonna go with Punk and AJ win this match. Obviously with AJ pinning Becky, and I think that will set up a future match between AJ and Becky for the women's title, or the women's intercontinental. There's so many freaking titles nowadays. The women's intercontinental title. So I'm gonna go with Punk and AJ for that one. So let me just run down these matches again. So John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. My thoughts are that it's going to end in a no contest or disqualification, whether Brock goes too far and beats the hell out of him. Io Sky versus Stephanie Fakur. I'm going to go with Stephanie winning that match, whether cleanly or due to interference from Asuka. The Usos versus the Vision. I'm going to go with Braun and Bronson win that match again, where they get help inadvertently from LA Knight getting involved, or where they get the win. I'm going to go with them. If there is a women's triple threat match added, I'm going to go with Jade Cargill to finally win the title there. I'm going to go with Cody to retain against Drew, even though I want to see Drew win the title. And then last, I'm going to go with Punk and AJ to beat Seth and Becky. So that is the predictions for Wrestlepalooza. Um, Obviously, there could be more matches added. At the moment, there's no mention whether there's any tag titles on the line. Um, they have been on SmackDown. They have been sort of teasing the Street Profits breaking up, which I'm hoping they don't do because, you know, while at one point I would like to see like some Montez Ford in singles action. At the moment, I think the tag division on SmackDown is probably one of the best things about the show. And so at the moment, I just don't want to see any of those teams get broken up. But yeah, I don't know whether they're going to add a tag title match to Wrestlepalooza or whether they're just going to keep it as the current match card. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on these matches. What are your predictions for them? Do you think there's going to be any shocks? Do you think we're going to see a new WWE champion in Drew McIntyre? What way do you see the Cena Lesnar match going? I say it's hard to pick a winner in that one. That's why I'm going to go for like a no contest or a disqualification because I don't see John pinning Lesnar clean. I don't see John losing against Lesnar. It's one of those tough ones where it's like hard to predict it. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, I'd be very much appreciated. And I shall see you again next time for more videos. And I'll probably do a review of Wrestlepalooza after Saturday and see if there's any shocks or anything. I don't think you're going to have any returns or show up like whether they're going to set up another opponent for Cena after this Lesnar fight if it does end cleanly. I do have a thought on that on John Cena though. The fact that his final match is scheduled for Saturday night's main event, which is meant to be taking place in Washington, could that end up being that his final match is against Batista? Because they have had such a rivalry over the years. They both come up from OVW at the same time. Batista's from Washington. So, would that be a scenario where it's John Cena versus Batista one last time and John Cena's final match? But I don't know, let me know your thoughts. Anyway, take care. I'll see you again.